That'll hurt. It's a live stream. It's a live stream. I am live in the live stream.
With a cat trying to roll around.
With a cat trying to roll off. It's funny, you're not in my phone camera, but you're in my backup camera.
What up?
That I never use.
This cat is seriously gonna roll off.
She's trying.
She's trying to roll off the couch.
She's just, she's just happy. She's getting attention and stuff. The phone's yelling at me for going sideways. No vertical. Or horizontal. We can't go horizontal, only vertical. How dare you even think? It's a live stream. It's a live stream. Doing the stuffs and the things. And the stuffs and the things. In the live stream. Water bottle?
Where did you put it?
I think it might be in another room. Hold on.
Oh, she's trying to roll off. I am saving this cat. Okay, y'all want to see? I am saving this cat. Well, I am saving her. She's being held up by my foot. You see that? You see that?
Not.
She's being held up by my foot.
Silly kitty.
Oh my lord.
It's a live stream. It's a live stream. Talking about the stuffs and the things and the stuffs and the things in the live stream. Talking about the atheisms and the theisms and the stuff and the things and the gods and the not gods in the live stream. In the live stream. Atheists are going to burn in hell. Please repent. No. Prove it. And get better threats. Get better threats. Better threats that I can believe. Better evidence for better threats. Hello. I'm complicated. Sometimes that's not a bad way to be. Sometimes stuff's complicated. My stuff is all over. My stuff is complicated right now. Goodness me. Setup is all over the place. Intellectual and spiritual turmoil created by the paradox of divine foreknowledge and free will is an issue for Jews, Christians, Muslims, reconcile tension, and God exists outside of time and observes activities. Yeah. It's almost like nobody knows what they're talking about. What do you mean, is there a God? They were right beside you in the thumbnail. Right, though. What's your goal in life? Living is pretty much what I got right now. And just kind of staying alive, keeping people in my life alive, and making the best of it. Just kind of short-term goals. Long-term goal would be a better paying job. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe flee the country at some point. It's just some ideas bat around. Why do people have to die? Unfortunately, that's the nature of life. To live means that you have to die. And as far as I can tell, that's just kind of how it is. Sucks. I don't really know if there's any why, as in like any kind of divine purpose or anything. The why is just how it is. And it does suck. Not to try to like downplay it or anything. It does suck. To an extent, I guess. I think death also can give a great deal of meaning to life.
To anyone who's been curious,
Some urgency.
this is his setup.
Yeah. It's pretty great. It's expert. I don't even use most of it. Well, that's not true. I'll scroll through the laptop to like get comments and stuff. Hello, Dim. Pro gamer. I do actually have a gaming channel. I haven't posted on it in a few years, but it's linked in the description. Got some videos. I'm happy with it. What's up? What is the source of all life? Don't bite that. Atoms and stuff, doing stuff and things, not all of which we fully understand, which is great. But yeah, the beginning of everything, I don't know, the beginning of our current state of the universe was the Big Bang, or the Big Expansion. I don't know what happened before that. Science says what comes from what? To the extent that they're able. To the extent that they know at the moment. That is my wife next to me.
Hello.
What's up, skinny white boy? What's up? There needs to be a source. God. How do we decide that that source is God? Is the earth flat? I don't think so. Seems pretty clearly not flat, but, you know, I guess it depends on who you ask. Peanut. You're gonna fall. Put that leg down.
She's gonna fall if I put my leg down.
Well, not you. She's like, she's still got the claws on her back legs, and I'm scratching her, and she's just like slowly raising up her back claw, like, no scratches. I already have a big cut on my hand. I don't need another one. Have you ever wondered about how magnificent an apple is? Apples are pretty cool. What exactly the magnificence? What's exactly the magnificence that you're referring to? Boop. 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 High fives. High five. High five. I got kitties on me.
You got two kitties on.
An entire tree from one seed. That's pretty cool. The Earth is flat if we take the perspective of it being, of a being that exists in a fourth dimensional. I don't know how I even attempted to read any of that. The Earth is flat if we take the perspective of a being that exists in a fourth spatial dimension. I don't know. Would it be considered flat, or would it just be considered 3D and therefore 4D? Or would it be the same difference, but different things? The sun makes it grow with water and mud. More or less. There's a little bit more steps. There's some nutrients in the soil and whatnot. But yeah, if you want to include that with mud, it's soil. God isn't a being. Okay. What is he? And what do you classify as a being? Because a being is just kind of like a thing that exists and lives. Like I'm a being. My cat is a being. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really say anything against God's character to call him some kind of being. It would be a fourth dimensional equivalent of a three-dimensional plate or disc. It would be the fourth dimensional equivalent of a three-dimensional plate or disc. Interesting. Fourth dimension's weird.
Okay, Peanut, my leg is getting tired from holding you up.
And it's your last message. Did I miss a message? Mixed, it didn't give me another message from you. The last I got from you was the skinny white boy comment. So I think YouTube may have grabbed your last question. Or message or whatever. Are all languages made up by humans? Looks like it, yeah. The outside is a protective layer, and there's even colors to show you when to pick it. Are the colors there to show you when to pick it, or are they just the colors that it is? Click live chat, not top chat. You will see it. I don't know what that is. I'm just kind of looking at. Uh-oh. Just swap to live chat. Don't answer that question. Just swap to live chat. Don't answer that question. Okay. Is there a different chat that I'm not aware of? Is that a thing? Was what I'm seeing not live chat? Should I know this stuff? I will start out green and turn red. Yes, but is there like a purpose? Is the purpose of that so that we know when to pick it, or is that just the color that it turns? Do plants just turn different colors at different stages of growth? And at this stage where it happens to be good to eat, it happens to be this color. So was the word God made by humans? Yes. Top Chat shows you what YouTube deems the best messages according to some arbitrary algorithm. Live chat shows all messages no matter what. What is it? Oh, interesting. Okay, so I can switch it on my side end. How do I switch that in this one?
I would think that yours would automatically be.
Well, you would think, but it wasn't in the live chat. I don't like the idea of there being a whole separate chat that I can't view.
Phone, now is not the time to ask me if I want to update my software. Nothing. Remember that.
Wouldn't know because I can't see your setup. It's just on like the phone, and from what I understand, the live chat just kind of scrolls up on the screen. And I can see on the PC, watching as a viewer on the Broken Spectacle side, I can see that it has a live chat versus top chat that I can switch between, but it does not seem to be giving me such an option here. All right, well, no.
You go to green screen? Did you just green screen?
Can I?
You're
Interesting.
figuring things out. Oh, what?
I'm learning things. Learning things.
This has become an educational, let's figure things out live stream.
It's just all. It's kind of arbitrary what things it lets me grab.
That's interesting.
It's weird. All right, fucking well. Good thing I have live chat pulled up on my side monitor, because apparently I don't have that pulled up on the phone that I'm going live from, because apparently that's not how things work. But sure, I have this. It must have been pretty bad if you just like.
Can I? What's this?
Oh, you timed her out. I thought you just like deleted him. I thought you just like kicked him.
Have you hit the plus? What does that do?
I don't know what the plus does. If this ends the stream, I'm sorry. Start
Oh,
poll,
we can
Q&A.
start.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
What's that side one?
Bookmark.
The bookmark.
And then I assume the share thing is shared. Chat
filter?
Top messages. All messages.
You're welcome.
We figured it out. Thank you, Mama.
You're welcome. This is why you keep me around.
Why isn't that the default? What do you mean? What do you mean there's two different chats and one of them gives you less chats, doesn't give you all of the chats, and that's not the default? I want to see. What do you mean? Fucking stupid technology. Fucking.
I love how I know nothing about this, but I'm the one who figured it out.
Well, here's the thing. There's buttons all over my screen.
Yeah.
I'm just scared to touch any of them because they might like end the live stream.
I think you need to do a stream where you just touch everything.
Maybe
See what it does.
I mean, there's like a magic pen button. Retouch on. What does that do?
Does it
I don't think it does anything. I'm trying to like touch my face. Retouch off.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, it's a pretty filter.
Oh, it's a pretty filter?
Ah.
Makes you pretty?
This looks gross. Is that?
Jim says, I think Top Chat is designed for bigger streamers because having a billion messages flying by is too much.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah.
You're probably not wrong. And that's probably just refresh.
Yeah.
What's this? A 49-second short was uploaded to your channel as unlisted. Didn't even ask my permission. I mean, I clicked the button, so if I know how the buttons work, then I technically did.
So if you have a good moment, you can clip it straight from the live.
I guess. 49 seconds?
It's a short.
You know you're gorgeous when the pretty filter does basically nothing. It got rid of some of my stubble and like some of like my weird like spots. I didn't get rid of that spot. It kind of got rid of that spot.
I don't know what it makes me look like.
Hold on. I don't know.
Hi.
And same thing. It's kind of dumb. I don't know. I kind of like having features. I kind of like having texture and stuff.
So was this the like background thing?
Yeah, that was the background thing. You are back from timeout. Are you ready to be? I hit the button again. Are you ready to behave yourself? I hit a button. What did that do? Oh, it's video. Oh, it turns the video off.
You can stop your video.
I can stop the video. I can stop audio. I can mute myself. That's cool. Yeah, Mix, please behave yourself. Hi, kitten. I got another kitty on my lap.
You are not wearing a Halloween shirt.
I'm not. They're not all dirty, but another one's like downstairs in the wash. I want to go get it.
That's still an okay shirt.
Yeah, it's another one of the main reasons I wear the Halloween shirts is because I just try to avoid branding. It's mostly what it is. I have like a lot of Marvel shirts, a Jaws shirt, so Minecraft shirts, but I don't want like branding on my content, so I usually wear stuff that doesn't have branding. Hello. Why don't you go ahead and tell me what you deem as inappropriate, because those boundaries were not put in place prior to my timeout. You passed the boundaries, so like don't go anywhere near what you said, and don't try to push boundaries. Just like, I don't know, inappropriate. Keep it like PG, probably. What are you doing? I'm doing a live stream.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out. What are the boundaries? It's what society would usually deem appropriate for the ages. I think asking about intimate activities, a place you have no business asking about, is crossing boundaries. There's that.
Yeah.
I think that's one.
Yeah.
You're foreign, what is the weather? What's the weather over here? It's a little chilly.
I feel like a good rule of
We're
thumb
getting a little taste of
like,
fall.
It's almost like if you wouldn't ask your parents the question.
If you wouldn't ask your parents. I don't know, man. Some people
Uh,
have really close relationships with their parents, and they be asking their parents some crazy shit.
that is true. Hello, Mr. Monkey.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Uh, sex positive. Sex positive's fine. We just don't need to go into details or anything on the live stream. In India, it is morning. In the middle of the United States, it is almost 10 p.m.
It's late.
Is late. Sleepy kid. I think everyone's been sleepy. We got a real big, like, cold front that came through, like, yesterday, especially today. It, like, started yesterday. And it's messing with my allergies. I think it's just messing with everybody. Kitten.
I ended up taking a 2-hour couch nap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't nap. The nap takes me. And then our daughter fell asleep earlier today, too. Took a little nap.
Why is foreign and India weather another? Like, why are the weathers different? They're different because we're on different parts of the world. I imagine. Yeah, different parts of the world, different climates. Probably don't ask anything not safe for work. In other words, if you aren't
Yeah.
comfortable saying it in a professional workplace environment, more than likely it's not safe for work. In Japan, it's morning. I mean, that makes sense. If you are comfortable asking that question in the workplace, you have bigger problems. What do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator.
I like that
I
one.
have never gone to Japan. I've never been to Japan.
Well,
Work on OnlyFans, so my question
well.
literally ties into my job. All right. So like a professional. No, I shouldn't say that because that's office space, not in the adult film industry. Your the department store type setting, office setting. Oh, and we are very professional.
I'm
and,
sure.
And
I'm sure.
that's why I retracted it. Because sex work, OnlyFans work, all that stuff, it is professional work. I do agree with that. That's why I retracted it. But yeah. Well, I think professional. I don't even think my job is professional. When I think professional, I think the cubicles and suit and tie, or like, business, semi-formal or whatever. I did not see the new Lego Batman game. I'm in class 9, but I didn't go to Japan. If I pass class 10, I will go to Japan. Nice. And stay there. Nice. I've worn a suit and tie for scenes before. Stop trying to get around it.
The answer is no.
It is pretty funny. Funny how this chat just hasn't been about theism or religion at all, except for the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's fine. It'd be like that. I'm honestly a little tired. Like, you'll notice I didn't even put the Discord up. It's just been a week, and it's been the last couple of days. I'm just, like, tired.
You've also already essentially been online today for an hour.
I was already on a live stream for an hour. I was on Godless Engineers live stream earlier today, which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
Anyone who wants to should go check out the video.
Yeah, you can go check it out. It's on Godless Engineers channel. I posted a link to it on my end, on my feed. So if you go to your subscriptions, if you're subscribed to me, you can probably see it there. Yeah, just an interview about my deconstruction and whatnot. I enjoyed it. John, the guy over there on Godless Engineering, he's really cool. I like him. I've watched his content for a while. I do not participate in adult content. Although, times being what they are, it's been tempting sometimes. Financially struggling out here. Busting my ass for 40 plus hours a week, 20 an hour, and barely keeping our heads above water. Plus my wife having a job as well. Ain't working. I have not seen that video yet, Doom. I need to. I just haven't had time to do it. It's on my list, though, I promise. But you can't have normal objectivity. I'm sorry. Because you can't have moral objectivity without a transcendent higher power setting the standard across the board. A very basic standard. So what? You're correct. Without a God or some kind of like God being whatever, there is no objective moral standard. So what? Kitty sleeping on me. Let me see a kitty sleeping on me.
I have a headache.
Kitty sleeping on me. A headache? Is it a hunger headache? Thirst headache?
I've been drinking water.
I need more food.
But
I know
I have
I
not
haven't been
had
eating.
anything since you went on a live stream earlier. That's the only thing I've eaten.
What's open until 11?
Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Taco Bell might be.
What adorable creatures. They are. They're cute. They're cute. I like them.
IHOP.
Because this probably is just going to be like a shorter, just like hour-long live stream. We're just kind of chit-chatting and talking. So yeah, I might be done with this at about 10:30. Do you want to get us some food?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I am pansexual, so. Okay.
Just an hour. Just an hour is greater than 3 hours. Yeah.
Your last one was the longest one, man.
Somebody asked you a question.
I did kind of answer that. I did say that I was pansexual, so.
Ah.
There. And if you don't know what that means, yes, essentially.
Pansexual means being attracted to all genders, biological sexes, or being attracted to people regardless of gender or biological sex. Well, either the bold claims that Jesus made is the truth or he's lying. It's either one of the two. How do we know he even made those claims? How can we trust anything that the Bible says? How can we be certain he was even here? And could he have just been wrong? Could it be, that he wasn't divine or a liar or a lunatic? Maybe he just was a guy in a spiritually charged religious area, time and place, scientifically ignorant time and place, which wasn't his fault, who might have believed stuff and maybe thought that he was something special without actually being crazy. That's a possibility too. Secular historical scholars agree that Jesus made these claims from religious to secular scholars. It's historic. It's historically recorded. It's a fact. That's not my opinion. The Bible is the most historically accurate book ever recorded on the face of the planet. That's a fact, not my opinion. I disagree with both of those. I'm sorry. So you think Jesus is a liar? I just explained why he isn't. I just explained why I don't think he had to have been a liar. There's still debate on whether or not Jesus existed. we really don't have any verification of what he actually said or did while he was here. The Bible is the only book which mentions anything to do with Jesus' actions and teachings. The only other historical documentation merely suggests his existence, and that's it. Yeah, there's some extra biblical sources that say like, hey, I've heard about this dude that existed and is doing some stuff. That's all we got outside of the Bible. Well, if he's not lying, then what? I explained that.
I went to refresh your thing.
Okay.
Because I'm getting that every now and then.
Taylor went to refresh my live stream, scrolled to the next live stream, saw a very different live stream, and scrolled off of it. Jesus existed. It's recorded historically, so there's so many documentation that Jesus as a human existed. Even if you don't believe he's divine, Jesus as a human existed on this planet. I don't really have an issue with the idea that a dude named Jesus or some, equivalent, whatever the language was, existed, made some claims, gained a following, and got executed. I don't really have an issue with that. I don't know if I would say I'm completely convinced, but sure. But that doesn't really do anything for us. We still don't really have anything for his divinity or any solid knowledge of what he said and did. I couldn't have your patience to do this.
Neither could I.
That's fine. Entirely feasible that Jesus made barely any extraordinary claims, and the Bible was in effect fan fiction hyping him up to be something more than he really is. Yeah, history does that sometimes. People will write all kinds of. I sometimes wonder. I don't really have anything to back this up. Just wondering if some of the Old Testament stories were like that. If some of them were based on some of the actions of this group of people, but they were beefed up with some added fiction and mythology and wonders and whatnot to make them a little bit more spectacular and exciting, to hype up the people and the nations and the whatnot. Jesus is the creator of the cosmos incarnate. Do we have any reason to believe that? You cannot consensually. You do not have my consent mixed.
I don't share.
So you cannot do that. Yeah, I'm not saying you have an issue with his claim that you think he's a liar. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm not saying you have an issue with his claims that you think he's a liar or he's telling the truth or not. The person, human Jesus, actually existed historically. That's not an opinion. Sure. I'll go ahead and give you that. Sure. Yeah, we do. He rose from the dead. Blind people... He rose from the dead, blind people to see, cured lepers, and deaf and mute, and cast out demons. That's all recorded in the Bible, which is God's words. How do I believe that anything in the Bible is true? We also have the Exodus story in the Bible, even though there's no evidence to suggest that the Israelites were ever enslaved in Egypt to begin with. We have the creation account, which didn't happen. We don't have any good evidence for that. And evidence suggesting that these things didn't happen. We have no evidence of anything divine or miraculous or magical ever being done, ever. We have nothing for any of that. Not to mention all of the eyewitness accounts and all the people that followed him around and saw it happen. We don't have any eyewitness accounts of what Jesus did. I'm willing to concede that he exists. Don't legitimize the Bible. Doesn't legitimize the Bible very much. Right. That's kind of where I'm at. It would not surprise me in the slightest if the Bible was just, like you said, a hyped up story around a teacher that existed. Hi. She started giving me kisses.
This one's just looking at me.
Oh, a silent meow. Silent meow. Sweet girl. Do you believe the universe came out of nothing? No. Only one way to find out. I guess we're either going to be warm food when we die, or there's an afterlife. Kind of looks like it, yeah. I mean, our bodies will be warm food, one way or another. The question is whether there's a soul that goes on somewhere else. If the only way to determine if your faith is true is to die, I don't see it being very likely that it's true at all. Right? Like, I don't. I don't take "trust me, bro" as an argument. I don't take, and I know that's not necessarily what you're saying. It's kind of more responding to what Doom is saying. People will say, "Oh, you'll find out when you die, so you gotta like do the Christian stuff now and be a good Christian now and follow Jesus now." It's like, throw my entire life away in dedication to something that I don't agree with and don't believe. And then we'll see once it's over if I was right or not. If this thing I have no reason to believe and no reason to follow is real or not. That doesn't sound like a good deal to me. Have you heard of Eucharistic miracles? Yeah, and I don't find any credibility in them. God exists and he's called the flying spaghetti monster? Maybe. Spaghetti at least exists, so we got that going for us. Because that's a bold claim to make for Jesus to say that he's the Son of Man. Very bold. Sure, there have been other people who have said crazy stuff too. Also, we don't know if he said it. People say all kinds of stuff. Trust me, my sweet femboy, no. No one's going to have clear empirical evidence of the creation of the cosmos. That's just impossible. Then it sounds like it's impossible to know whether or not there was a God that created it. Yeah, he resurrected from the dead with over 500 eyewitness accounts. That's recorded in the Bible. It talks about all this. It says that there were over 500 eyewitnesses to that particular event. We don't have anything from them. I can say I sprouted wings yesterday and flew around the city for 3 hours and 500 people saw me. That's what we have from the Bible. That's all we get. That's all we got from the Bible. We don't really have any reason to believe in it. It's not impossible. Deism is a very real position. True. There are two options. Nothing created the universe, or something or someone created everything. Neither of those. So the second one, maybe, but I'm going to be a little critiquey about it. The word created. The word created kind of muddies the water. It implies intent, will, something intentionally willed, like an intelligent mind intentionally willed things into being. The universe came from something, I'm sure. I don't know what. I do not believe it came from nothing. Yeah, we do. It's all mentioned, recorded in the Bible. Why should I believe the Bible? And the very fact that you're curious about this, I think Jesus might be tugging at your heartstrings there. He needs to do more than tug. He needs to show up. Also, I don't know many people that willingly die for a lie. You think they collaborated together? Yeah, let's die for this man, Jesus, who lied about everything. You keep going back to liar. Never once have I accused Jesus of lying. I in fact, did the opposite earlier. And people have given their lives for things that they believed in. There have been cults. Heaven's Gate in Jonestown come to mind, where people gave their lives because they believed their religious leader. The people who flew planes into buildings on 9/11, believed that they were doing the will of their God. There are people who will go and fight in wars for their country, for something that's not even a god. People will go and fight wars to defend their country and die in those wars to defend their country. So willingness to die for something does not mean that that something is the greatest ever and should be believed and followed no matter what. All following Jesus is gathering as many fish as possible for eternity. All following Jesus is gathering as many fish as possible for eternity. That's all what following Jesus is, and doing as he did, and spreading the love of Jesus, handing out invitations to eternity. It's a little bit more complicated than that, I feel like, but while it's a little hard to believe, I'm honestly open to the possibility that we came from nothing. Absurdism isn't exactly untenable or proven impossible. That's true. I just the nothing. As soon as you give any kind of characteristics to nothing, it stops being nothing, I feel like. You know? I feel like nothing just needs to be no thing. It needs to be completely void and absent of anything. Any descriptors, any abilities, anything. So as soon as you have nothing as a thing that's doing something, you've lost the nothing. That's how I see it. Maybe perhaps we came from a third thing, neither creation nor nothing. Yeah, I think we came from something. You know, I'm not sure what. God is God is. This is why I'm probably only going to do an hour. I'm just not here today. God is not going to show himself to anybody because you wouldn't have a choice but to believe. That doesn't make any sense. That's what faith comes into play. That's how it works. You already don't get a choice in what you believe in. You're either convinced enough of something to warrant a belief or you're not. So him showing up and us believing it, it would just kind of be whatever. Then we get the free will choice on whether or not we want to follow that being. Because I still wouldn't follow the God of the Bible even if he was real. Eucharistic miracles have scientifically documented and physically available evidence that you can see today. Human flesh that doesn't decay. It's Jesus showing up to you, and it's a miracle. I would just kind of look more deeply into that. Some of the backing and evidence is just a little fuzzy. We have no verification that it was Jesus' flesh or Jesus' blood or anything like that. I've tried looking up some of the scientists that they've put forth in some of these Eucharistic miracles, and haven't been able to find anything on them, or they were something obscure, or they looked at it and said, yeah, I'm not really convinced, but then they were still added to the credit list. It doesn't have as much credibility as you might think. He did say it. What do you mean? We don't know. It's all recorded in the Bible, which is a very historically accurate book, one of the most historically accurate books ever written. It's not. Why should I believe anything in the Bible? That's all they could go off of back then. They didn't have video recording devices. They didn't have DVD players or none of that. You had to go off word of mouth, and went over 500 people. Sure, but we still don't have that eyewitness documentation, that first-hand eyewitness documentation from the 500 people. And this specific 500 people, it doesn't even give any of their testimonies. It just says they existed. It just says 500 people saw it. So we didn't even get any testimony from the 500 people. If you don't think Jesus lied, then you would have to agree that he said that he was God, that he would die and rise again, and that he's coming back again to judge us all. He says to put your faith in him. How do we know that he said those things to begin with? And even if he did say those things and wasn't lying, does that necessarily mean that he was correct? He could have been wrong. He could have thought that he was something that he wasn't. You might as well be calling him a liar because you keep saying we don't know if he actually said that. That's not calling him a liar. We don't actually know if he actually said that. That's basically calling him a liar. That's not. Look at mummification, very interesting stuff. I'm sure divine intervention isn't necessary. Yeah, mummification is very interesting. In the different natural ways a body can be mummified is quite interesting. 9/11 was an inside job? Okay. Thoughts on Jewish people? I'm not a fan of religions in general. Not necessarily, the people of any given religion, but the religions in general I'm not really a fan of. Jewish people are people. There's good and bad mixed in among them, just like any other group of people. So you think human existence is a mere coincidence. You think the entire creation of the cosmos is just coincidence. I think, first off, I don't really know how everything got here. It is all weird, I agree. But I think it would seem this is all just a natural process of the universe. It's just something that the universe does, something the universe did, and we're here now, and we don't have all of the information on how it got here, but that doesn't mean it has to have been a God. I have a feeling you're going to find Jesus one day. I used to be a Christian. You have to repent and put your faith in Christ, or else you will sadly choose to spend eternity in hell. Christ died on the cross for you, so you can have atonement for your sins. If you repent, why should I believe any of that? The Bible is not the most historically accurate book ever written. It got the order of the creation of the celestial bodies backwards: stars, sun, earth, instead of the other way around. It suggests the earth is only a few thousand years old, and it presents a timeline that contradicts evolution. Yeah. There was day and night and vegetation before the sun was formed. The thing that the sun causes, daytime, according to the Bible, came before there was the sun. And the sun was made as a bright light to govern the day. The moon was made as a lesser light to govern the night, even though the moon is pretty regularly out during the day. It's just not doing its job. Even if you read through the Old Testament, you can see that Jesus fulfilled prophecies in the New Testament. When I don't have any reason to believe in the credibility of the Bible, something being written down that it's going to happen in this chapter, and then something being written down that it did happen in a later chapter, doesn't really do anything for me. It's something got written down over here, and then somebody later on, with knowledge of what happened over there, wrote something down over here. It doesn't really do much for me in terms of evidence that he actually fulfilled prophecies or anything. What did God make first? Light. He had light for photosynthesis before the sun was created. Yes, that's the problem, because we get our light from the sun. Our light comes from the sun. The sun's not just there during the light times to govern the light like the Bible suggests. It's the source of the light. The earth was made before the sun, and the earth would be the center of the solar system, and we would be a giant plasma ball instead of a planet. Yeah, and the earth was made before the sun. Even though we know how solar systems work, how solar systems form, that the star forms, and then the leftover bits get wrapped around and knocked together and combined and whatnot by the star's gravity. So you need that star to get a solar system started. To deny that he claims that to deny what the claims that Jesus made when it's recorded in the Bible is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe you don't think that the Bible is historically accurate. Look it up. It's not. It's very simple. It's not. You guys need to read some well-written fiction with some focus on world building. You would be amazed at how real some of those worlds feel. Oh, yeah. You want to order some food, Mama? And maybe I'll end the live when it gets here. What are you thinking? What do you not want? I have to keep reading chat, so I'm going to put it mostly on you.
Go ahead. I'm just going to look at what's up.
Yeah. Yeah, we do, bro. We know he actually said that, as it's recorded throughout history. Many documentations, many secular historical scholars all agree on this. do they? I kind of want to know where you're getting your information. Maybe you can give me some scholars that are saying these things. He is God. He can have a light source between the sun that can be taken away when he creates the sun. Then why did he make the sun the light source and not just leave the original light source? That'd be cool. That'd be like interesting if we could see that the light of day wasn't actually coming from the sun and it was coming from some other we don't know what. That'd be interesting. That would be, I mean, it would still turn into a whole God of the Gap scenario, I'm sure, but it would at least be maybe a little bit more credible on behalf of evidence for a God, maybe a little bit. The Bible's claims require corroborating evidence that is an ideological bias in the Bible. There is an ideological bias in the Bible, and therefore it cannot be trusted as objective without backing evidence from independent sources. No one believes it's not. You just because you haven't looked into it doesn't make it true. No one believes it's not. Just because you haven't looked into it doesn't make it true. I don't know who that's for. Yeah, it's God's natural process on how things work. Think about it for a second. Look at how human biology is down to the molecular level in our DNA blueprint. Just because you don't understand how something works doesn't mean it has to have been a God.
There's McDonald's or Chicago, IHOP, or pizza.
McDonald's or Chicago, IHOP or pizza. I think Old Chicago sounds the best out of all of those.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
So mine.
If there was a light source, why did there need to be a sun? To govern the day. Because why not? No, it talks about pre-creation things in the Bible, like the rebellion and all that. But it just claims. There's no reason to believe any of that. Evolution's been debunked many times over. Even modern scientists don't use evolution as empirical evidence anymore. Celestial, I really don't know. Please don't attack your sister while you're on me. I really don't know how to have a conversation with you. And I'm not trying to be mean about this. I have no idea where you're grabbing your information from. I really just don't. Why not just start with the sun? Did God need time to think? Maybe he did. He needed time to rest after he made it all. And we live in a perfectly fine-tuned universe. What are the odds of that happening? That potentially we're the only planet to sustain life. We don't know if we're the only ones. And the universe is gigantic, possibly infinite. And it's full of stuff. It's old and it does a lot of stuff. Even if the chances of life evolving on a planet were 1 in a billion, there's probably over 1 billion planets out there. So when you have odds, when you have so much space and stuff and so much happening throughout the universe, the odds kind of become irrelevant. It becomes almost inevitable because we know that life as we know it is something that the universe can do because it did do it. So it just seems like it was inevitable. At some point it was going to do it because, the chances don't really matter when you have so much stuff. Do you have anything to say to chat, Mom? Got it.
My head is hurting, so
maybe
my head's kind of hurting, so I'm just like, I don't know, zoned out right now.
I gotta order food.
I need food
from the Old Chicago. So please forgive me while I take this break. Yeah, I think I'll just have my chicken pissed off right now.
There's a kitty. He's getting cuddles.
I love you as a brother in Christ, but you are the only YouTuber to get interaction from Christians. I'm sorry. I love you as a brother in Christ, but you're only on YouTube to get interactions from Christians who try to convince you. You don't seem like you are here to listen. I am here to listen. I'm just not hearing anything convincing. I pray God opens your eyes. God bless. Have a good night, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. Credibility of the Bible is credible because it's inspired by humans. From the Word of God, God inspired humans to write it. God spoke through those humans, and they recorded what he spoke. Evidence? Proof? Then if the Bible is fake, how come it lasted this long? Why has the Dead Sea Scrolls been preserved for so long? Why is the Bible even still around if it's not true? Why is Judaism around if it's not true? If you believe in Christianity, then you don't believe in Judaism. Why is Judaism still around? Why is Hinduism still around? Or Buddhism? And the Dead Sea Scrolls being preserved, we have stuff that's been preserved from long ago. Some artifacts get preserved, some of them don't. It's just what happens. The Bible stays around because it is psychologically manipulative. It uses things like love bombing, threats, coercion, social outcasting, fantastic methods, and more to keep itself alive. Yeah. Christianity has spread a lot through manipulation and indoctrination and fear tactics and bloodshed. It's pretty great. Fantastic methods. Fascistic methods. Yes. And it's some pretty fantastic methods, not in not like in a good sense. Prove to me how it's not historically accurate. We have absolutely no reason to believe that the Israelites were even enslaved in Egypt to begin with. We have nothing for the Genesis account. Both of those seem to be just things that we would have found evidence for that we haven't. Like we were just talking earlier, the way that cosmos were come into being disproves creationism. So it disproves the creation story in Genesis. Bart Ehrman, E.P. Sanders, Maurice Cassie. Are these the secular historians that I should look at? Bart Ehrman, E.P. Sanders, and Maurice Casey. Are these the secular historians? These three secular historical scholars for you. Okay. You know what? I'm not gonna say it. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go ahead and look these up. Let's go and look them up real quick. Not gonna get into anything too deep. I just kind of wanna look at something. Get a little spark notes on them, and then probably do more. I've at least heard of Bart Ehrman. Yeah, Bart Ehrman isn't a Christian. That's interesting. I didn't know that. E.P. Sanders. Prominent American New Testament scholar and Protestant theologian, known for his work, challenges the... Didn't really answer my question. Yeah, I think I'll just have to look him up later. Many cults and religions have started and died over the centuries. Only the religions with the right ingredients and manipulative practices survive to see the modern era, and probably a little bit of luck. The Abrahamic model was very effective. How come humans can't recreate other humans without mating? Are you questioning why we haven't been able to recreate in a lab a process that we don't fully understand that took millions of years to do? Are you questioning why we can't just like whip that up in a lab in like a few years? Is that the question? Because if that's the question, then the answer is because it's a process that took millions of years that we don't fully understand. And we can't just whip that up in a lab. Do you believe the scientific impossibility that nothing created everything? I do not believe nothing created everything. Dude, I've listened to so many scientists say that they really don't use evolution anymore. Nobody uses it. It's too outdated. You need to get up with modern times. Nobody uses evolution anymore. We're watching different scientists, you know? I really don't know where you're getting your information from. I am going to look at your scholars that you gave me. I'm not going to do that right this second just because I want to actually dive into it. Give more than just like a quick looking at some of the AI generated overview that doesn't tell you anything. But apart from that, I'm really just not sure where you're coming from. Even if evolution were true, I think that's how they created it. Well, that's just the God sticker. That's the next worst thing after the God of the gaps. There's God of the gaps if we don't know how it worked, therefore God. And then there's a God sticker of we know how it worked, but God did it anyway. It's just slapping God's name on it. With no reason to believe that he actually did. Is it evolution or adaptation? Adaptation is a big part of evolution. Evolution is still held effectively as objective fact among biologists and historians, the same way gravity is held as fact by physicists. Yeah. Evolution is a theory, just like gravity and plate tectonics and germs and cells. It's a scientific theory, which means it's about as close to what you could establish as a fact as you can get. I really just I don't know. Celestial, I'm not trying to accuse you of anything. I'm just kind of going off of what it kind of sounds like to me. I might encourage you to really, really listen to opposing viewpoints. And if you do, please correct me. Please scream at me all you want. But it seems like you're really only listening to one side of the argument and gathering up information on one side and not really looking at evidence against your point. And I would just encourage you to keep looking, just keep learning. And you'll either find more stuff to back up your claims, or you'll find that your claims are wrong, or somewhere in the middle. But I would just encourage you to keep looking because I don't know. I genuinely don't know where you're getting your stuff from. I really don't. All this just kind of sounds like a cope to me. Sure. It's all just a cope. Sure. I don't know. I don't know what to say, Celestial. I'm really not sure. I'm really struggling at this point. So maybe you win. Maybe you win. Uh, what exactly we're trying to cope with? You know, it's a good question. It's a good question. I am probably going to end the live stream soon, just FYI. Probably here in a couple minutes. I would encourage anyone to look at evidence that goes against their beliefs, to listen to the people that are saying the things that they might not like, because it's just a good way to live life, to get your information from as many sources as possible. It's part of the way I became an atheist, was I started listening to more atheist activists and scientists and whatnot. Even some of the atheist activists who I hated listening to them, because I was a devout Christian. They were attacking my religion. They were attacking my God. And that created a lot of strong emotions. It very much bothered me, and it very much upset and hurt me to hear that stuff. But I toughed through and I listened to it anyway, because I wanted to become an apologist. I wanted to defend Christianity. To spread God's light, love, and message as far as I could. What was my goal. And so I couldn't back down. I couldn't look away from the people who disagreed with me or who said mean things about my religion. I had to look at it. And it's part of what got me out of Christianity. And not to say that's what it's going to do for you, but I'm just saying it's so important to listen to what everyone is saying and to actually compare the evidence and actually compare what all the scholars are saying, all the scientists are saying. Because I'm sorry to say that evolution is rejected and outdated and nobody uses it anymore is just flatly wrong. It really is. I mean, I don't know. Because especially you're listening to a lot of scholars that that agree with your points, and a lot of scientists that agree with your points, when there's a lot of scholars and scientists who aren't agreeing with your points. So I would encourage you to look at them. Encourage everyone to continue to always question your beliefs, what you believe and why, and keep trying to learn more and better yourself. And don't be afraid to have conversations about it. I really do think debates only work if both of the individuals are trying to learn something. Using it as a tool to change someone's beliefs where they already made up their mind doesn't seem to work. I agree. When I have these discussions, or like when people will get on the Discord or whatever, I try to have it in a way of neither of us needs to win. Nobody needs to win. Nobody has to have a gotcha. You can just talk and share ideas. Because even if you don't, win the debate or whatever, if the debate doesn't go your way or whatever, you're still sharing information. And I still find that information valuable. I find the information that Celestial is sharing valuable. I'm going to go do research based on what Celestial is saying. I can learn. You can learn something from anywhere. You just got to be careful with really looking into it and figuring out what is and is not true, what is and is not credible. What, did you have a ponytail in the whole time? The video I sent kind of tackles that problem, and I think it has convinced me to change my approach. I'll have to. I actually have a lot of housework to do tomorrow, so that kind of sounds like something I can put an earbud in my ear and listen to while I'm doing housework. I did used to believe in God, devoutly. But I do think I am at the end of the live stream. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here, for engaging, for taking part of it, for lurking. I think I had some people just lurking here and there. That's fine. You don't need to respond. I'm a random nobody on the internet, just kind of doing my thing. So any and all support is appreciated. Anyone giving me 2 seconds out of their day to like watch for a second before scrolling, it means a lot to me. And especially, if you chat, share ideas, all that stuff. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. So I usually go live on Tuesday nights at about 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I try to do some extra live streams throughout the week here and there when I have time. Apart from that, having a great rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this, and hope to see you all later.